welcome ladies. I want to welcome you to the first IMB Women's Girl Chat. I want to thank everybody for coming here. We're going to just speak on the current state of the culture of society right now, what's affecting us. Of course, right now, the two main issues that come to my mind are COVID-19 and the Black Lives Matter movement. So I have three wonderful speakers here with me, and I just want to go ahead and just introduce them. First, I want to go ahead and introduce Arri Henry. She is a creative director, writer, and photographer for the Westside Gazette newspaper, one of the oldest Black-owned and operated newspaper in South Florida. She is a mom of two and the founder of Keep a Happy Home with her husband to encourage healthy living and the inner work required to maintain peaceful relationships and environments. Welcome, Arri.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I want to go ahead and move on to introduce our next speaker, which is Essie Fynn-Obeng, a community organizer based in Miami, whose work focuses on economic and racial justice for Black communities. Hi, Essie.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you. And then next we have is Charlaine. Charlaine, come on, let people hear about you. I want you to speak on yourself because I know you have a lot to say. So go ahead, Charlaine. Let the people know about you.
Hi, everyone. I am Charlaine Loriston. I tend to like to introduce myself as I am first and foremost a Black woman, first generation of American of African descent by way of Haiti. I actually work in the public health realm, and I do a lot of work with trying to educate, re-educate our people in terms of health, but most importantly, I do so by doing more community development to help our communities become happiest and healthiest, and I have done so both here domestically as well as abroad. And I also focus a lot of my work with reorganizing, or rather organizing the Black communities wherever I am in to work on more health-related projects.
Thank you. Okay, I'm learning something new every day about you. All right, so let's just dive right into it. So Essie, I know we have you for a limited time, so I want to just speak to you on certain issues. We want to go right into the current events. We're going to talk about the global protestings or this national protesting that's going on with the Black Lives Matter movement. So with the recent protests that have sparked nationwide discussions on racism in the United States, what are your thoughts and feelings in regards to the nation's progress, and are you optimistic about any change?
I mean, first and foremost, I think that in spite of everything that is happening, I mean, it's crazy. Like I've told a lot of folks, you know, Black folks, just do what you got to do because right now we're in the middle of a, you know, economic crisis, a health pandemic, you know, and then now we have to put our bodies on the line. Like, you know, it's not anything new, but then we're putting our bodies on the line to, I guess, go into this another cycle of police killings that's happening, right? And so for me, I am feeling optimistic because it does kind of feel like folks may think that everything's happening because of George Floyd and because of the video. And yeah, I do believe that was something that definitely triggered this current moment. But I believe that, you know, there is a spiritual law that says you reap what you sow. And I believe that there's been work that has been happening with organizers and just movement leaders who have been sowing into this work for so long. And so this is their moment to leverage this moment and use it for a big win for this movement. So whether you are organizing and you're in labor, whether you are in health, you know, whether you are doing political work, this is like your moment. This is our moment, right? And so there's so much in the midst of all this, there's so much political wins that's also happening too, right? I mean, there is a lot of performance activism that's happening, but I believe that that's why it's our job as organizers to stay focused and to have demands and to organize folks around our demands so that we can leverage this moment for our good, you know? And so I am optimistic. I believe if we continue to stay focused and we continue to stay grounded, I believe that there's a lot that we can do and we can leverage in this moment.
Arri, I wanted to see for those who want to get involved, and I'm asking the same question to you as well, are you optimistic? Do you see the progress or the change? You know, is it going to be effective in the movement of just trying to get attention to police brutality and just civil rights just for Black and brown bodies?
I'm definitely optimistic. I think that we want to see change happen immediately, but I'm okay if my great-grandchildren benefit from what it is that we're doing right now. Our ancestors didn't expect to see things in their current lifetime like they did it for us, so we should definitely have that same prism moving forward for the future. I'm so happy to see so many allies, you know, fighting with us. I think that's really important, and I'm not sure if we had such a large amount of support as we do today as we did back then. So I definitely think that the future looks bright. It's gonna maybe get worse before it gets better, and we have to be prepared for that also.
And I wanted to ask you, Charlaine, about how do we get involved? We're seeing everything that's going on, the unrest, the protests, and even sometimes not even just the burning down of certain institutions. Mm-hmm. How would someone want to get involved, whether it's out in the streets, whether it's organizing, or whether it's in some form of just donating resources? How do we get involved?
You know, this is a conversation that I've had with several people, and that's just that everyone has a role to play. Not everyone is going to be out in the streets burning things down. Not everyone is going to be in front of a picket fence or picket line rather. But we all have a specific role to play. And that first starts with looking within and looking at what our strengths are. What are those things that you can bring to the table? If you are in law, for example, we need you on that side to help us understand the laws that are working for or against us. To go out into the communities and provide the educational services that is needed to re-educate the miseducated. You know, we need individuals basically to go out and see what other people are doing and find your place, because I believe in order for us to be successful, there needs to be a multimodal approach into how we attack the situation at hand. Protesting alone is not going to help. Just like writing petitions or writing to our Congress people is not going to help alone. But by galvanizing the community and really helping to re-educate on so many different aspects, whether it be on law, whether it be on health, whether it be on you know, just putting your body out there and being that person to physically put yourself at risk. We need all hands on deck. Now, I cannot personally define what it is that each person will do, but it is something that each person will have to do a lot of deep searching within to figure out, okay, where is my place in all of this? We all have a role. So if that means just having conversations with your family members, having conversations with your neighbors, your coworkers, all of this goes a long way.
And I do want to add to that too, because I most certainly agree, but this is an election year, it's 2020. So in spite of, everybody has a part to play. And I believe that a lot of folks, they may think that protesting, and some folks may even feel bad that they're not protesting, or whatever the case may be. I mean, I want to be mindful that as Black folks, we are in a health pandemic where we are the most impacted. And so if that's not your lane, that's not your lane. But protesting is not just one tool. Protesting is actually an agitation tool. It's something that gets leveraged to agitate your target, you know? And so like there's a lane for protesting, but there's also another lane for like petitioning. There's also another lane called voting. There's also, if you're a health professional, like there's a lot of things that we need to do in that institution as well. There's like so much things that require us to work together. That's why like, you know, I agree strongly with that. But I also want to be mindful of folks understanding that just because you're not in a particular lane doesn't mean you got to be like, well, you need to be this, you need to do that. No, everybody has a different part to play. And I think the most important thing is, instead of figuring out what what kind of like the differences that there are. We have to focus on what is going to bring us together. And that's what I mean by we have to be organized. We have to have demands. Like, what are we actually doing for? And that's how all those different things play in together. When we know like what we're actually building, what we're actually fighting for, what we're standing, what are we trying to win, what are we trying to accomplish in this moment, then that's how we collectively win.
Yes, and thank you for saying that, Essie. It's something that I recently had a conversation with someone, and I said, look, you know, none of us are going to be on the same page in terms of the path to get there, but we need to be on the same page as far as the direction that we're going. What is the end message? What is the end goal? Because if we are divided on what the end goal is, then we will have problems with getting there. But the different approaches that we take to get to that final result that we all want is what needs to be focused on.